www.riverstate.gov.ng, www.riverstate.gov.ng. For the Peter Dama sets the pace and I compliment afterwards. But you can follow via these outlets. The network service of Radio Nigeria, also streaming live at www.radionigeria.net. The network service of Radio Nigeria, also streaming live at www.radionigeria.net. NTA International. There is also Ben Television London, also on www.bentelevision.com. Ben Television London, also on www.bentelevision.com. DAR Communications, owners of Africa Independent Television, AIT. DAR Communications, owners of Africa Independent Television, AIT. News Agency of Nigeria, NAN. News Agency of Nigeria, NAN. And don't forget the vibrant Honorable Commissioner.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amici, CON. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Engineer Tele Rena Ikru, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Information, my boss, my friend, Honorable Labaran Maku, the Right Honorable Speaker, members of the National Assembly, my distinguished senator and predecessor, other members of the National Assembly, members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, members of the Rivers State Executive Council, Secretary to the State Government, Head of Service, traditional rulers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me first of all apologize that we have kept you this long. We are very sorry. It was not intended, but like you know, our state is a huge construction site. And by the time we had traversed the length of breadth of it, we had just done about 15% of the projects of His Excellency. Again, I apologize to you most sincerely. I hope it has not taken away the excitement of the Citizens Forum, and I promise you that it still promises to be a very interesting one. Your Excellency, I was asked to do a quick welcome, but it will be difficult to do that if we don't just quickly look at what we're dealing with in Rivers State. I don't know if my slides are up. Okay. Anyway, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this Citizens Forum is very typical of what we do in this state, because this government believes in democracy in action. When we came into government, we experienced quite a few challenges, the top of which was security and dilapidated infrastructure. But as a government, we rose up to those challenges, and as we speak, we have been able to impact in all of the various sectors. We have seen a bit of it, but currently we have constructed and completed over 250 schools. I think we all know that. We know that people are coming back to Rivers State, and it is the destination choice of everyone else. But very importantly, and I think we've seen all of the schools, is the work that this government has done in the area of gender. As we speak, Rivers State has the most strategic women in position. We do know that we have the sole administrator of the Greater Port Harcourt City. We know that what the government is doing in the area of power. I'm not going to be able to go through all of our slides, because if you look at the book in front of you, you will see our before and after pictures. We've been able to show the Honorable Minister our investments in agriculture. We've been able to show him our investments in roads and the rest of it. But today we are proud to say that our state has regained her pride of place in the Committee of States. Like I said, we are the preferred destination of choice for investors, as our hotels are always bustling with activities. Visionary leadership, that is accountability to the people, will always achieve lofty heights. That is why infrastructural decay of yesterday has given way to road networks that are second to none in the country. Our schools have become the models of education in Africa, apart from the fact that they are now tourist centers. The facilities and quality of education we now have make teaching and learning a joyous experience. Human capital development continues to be at the front burner, as the government has deliberately given undergraduate and postgraduate scholarships to indigents and residents of the state. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our health institutions are now centers for professional and quality healthcare. To most visitors, our modern healthcare centers are mistaken for general hospitals because of their architectural look and the world of equipment. Agriculture has become a sector of pride. Our Songhai Farm Initiative, the largest in Africa, the Rizon Palm is back on stream. The banana farm and our farm estate at Iche are signposts of an administration determined to create food sustenance and employment for our teeming unemployed youth. With regards to mainstreaming gender, Rivers State is privileged to have a governor who is committed to equitable distribution of wealth across all sectors. Gender empowerment enjoys a pride of place in our state. As at today, Rivers State remains the state with the most strategically positioned female appointees. And I would just say, like the governor likes to say, that the bulk of the budget of the state is managed by women. Today's town hall meeting is not new to us because this has become a democratic tradition for us. We hold this people-oriented gathering regularly, in addition to stakeholder engagements which cut across all strata of society. We hold this strategy dear to our governance style because we believe that a well-informed citizenry produces a good government. In 2010, we hosted the first Open Government Forum in Africa to underscore this government's law for accountability and transparency. The Fiscal Responsibility Law, the Bureau of Public Procurement, and the Public-Private Partnership Law are the building blocks Governor Amechi has used to lay the foundation for a greater Rivers State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you once again to Rivers State, a place of limitless possibilities. And as today beckons to a better tomorrow, we are optimistic that our state's re-engineering, pioneered by our governor, will indeed stand the test of time. I thank you all, and God bless you.
And deliver his message. Mohammed Garba.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, our own Minister, the Honorable Minister of Information, distinguished Senators, may I acknowledge the existing protocols. Your Excellency, Rivers State is the second state which we have so far visited in the South-South. And as usual, we are privileged to have gone around some projects that cut across the 3 tiers of government. And as I said last week in a similar forum, that the expectation of members of the good governance team is that, and of course quite a number of Nigerians, we are expected to see quite an in terms of federal government allocation, as well as the internally generated revenue. And incidentally, Rivers, I think, is rated as 2nd or 3rd in terms of allocation. So our expectation after going around is whether the money that is accrued to government coffer really tally with some of the projects which we are privileged to have seen. And for me and quite a number of my colleagues who are in the media tour, I want to recall that in 2011 we have privileged to have come and have our National Executive Council meeting here in Port Harcourt. And I want to say with all sincerity that some of the projects which we saw at that material time were either at foundation level or it has achieved about 20–30%. But as we move around some of these projects, it is pertinent for me to mention that most of the projects we saw today are either 100% completed and delivered, or rather, they are about to be completed. For instance, I recall vividly the LMA Modern Secondary School, and of course, the primary school itself. These are projects that nobody amongst us that will follow the standard in terms of structure of these projects. And we're also happy we observed that the environment is really conducive for teaching learning. Therefore, it is pertinent for me to really commend His Excellency, the Executive Governor, for putting this structure in place. In the areas of health, we saw high-profile Kensley Harrison Hospital and the dental with the state-of-art facilities. The good news in the health sector is that as we move, we saw quite a number of primary health centers. I think we were made to understand that there are about 29 of such health centers across the state and 120 across the state. And this is really taking care of the less privileged and the poor in the society. So I think it is a very, very good project. I should also commend His Excellency for that. We saw the flyover, the motorage, roads, rehabilitation and construction. We were really impressed with the power treatment plants we saw as we move. We saw the fish farm, among other projects in the state. So let me say that these are viable projects as far as we are concerned that are capable of impacting positively on the lives of the people of Rivers State. I therefore want to commend the vision and foresight of His Excellency for initiating these very, very important projects. For the federal government, we also saw quite a number of interesting and encouraging projects, especially on the health sector. The Cancer Center as University Teaching Hospital, Port Harcourt. We believe that this is a very, very good project as far as we are concerned. And we also saw efforts by federal government to improve university facilities in our universities. And I want to believe that by so doing, because we saw similar projects in quite a number of universities in Nigeria today. So we think this will be able to, we will be able to achieve the quality of education in our institution. We also saw the expansion and investment at Oni ports. We feel this will further facilitate the establishment of industries and commerce as well as transport system in Nigeria. It will also provide employment opportunities. But most importantly, the east-west road, which we saw. And I think it is pertinent for me to acknowledge the intervention of the Shopee. I know that Shopee, I'm a member of that committee. I can bear witness that we have made a lot of interventions in quite a number of roads. That is why the road network is gradually progressing here in Nigeria. So I want to also use this forum to commend His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for the initiative of having projects in this part of the country. So in all, Your Excellency, we are happy with what we saw in Rivers, and we believe that government is gradually getting its right. And I want to believe that if democracy is allowed to continue and such tempo is sustained, in the next 10 years or so, we will not be talking about power, we will not be talking about road, we will not be even thinking about sending our people for medication and abroad. So I want to commend the government and indeed Mr. President for all this effort. We also want to appreciate our own minister, the Honorable Minister of Information, Comrade Labaramaku, for initiating the Good Governance Tour. We feel that the Good Governance Tour is not only to inspect projects. We now have opportunity of appreciating some of the challenges which we have, the difficulties. For instance, we are able to see the terrain here in Rivers. We appreciate the difficulties with the people in this part of the country are going through. And I think it is very, very good avenue for us to do that. We also feel that we are learning as we move. Though the Honorable Minister has missed the cable bus or cable car in Ogudu range, but the experiences today, riding on boats today and yesterday, is indeed an experience worthwhile. I therefore feel that we really enjoyed our stay here in Rivers. I therefore want to urge our colleagues in the media to play its constitutional responsibility of reporting what we saw objectively according to the ethics of the profession. I want to thank everybody.
The Deputy Governor, the Honorable Minister of Information, let me start on the existing protocols. Your Excellency, this particular tour of the River State has given us the opportunity to know that democracy is working in Nigeria. We had the opportunity of visiting so many projects, but let me start by saying that the projects that we have seen so far in River State under the able leadership of Governor Amaechi are people-oriented projects. The life of ordinary citizens of this country. We were at Afam Power Project. I want to say emphatically that this is the first state where I've been able to see that the governor started a power project, and that power project is functioning and is also producing the required megawatts. There we are able to understand that by the end of this year, or latest by next year, Port Harcourt will have uninterrupted power supply for 24 hours, courtesy of this government. That is wonderful. Also the one at Omoku is also working, and Excellency was able to tell us that he met it halfway and he completed it and is working. It's highly commendable, sir. In the area of education, we were there, we saw secondary school that is even better than university in some states. The infrastructure in those schools are marvelous. We only want to employ His Excellency that I hope you'll be able to put in place before you leave a law that will not allow anybody to come and toy with that secondary school. Because if we don't put that there is tendency for anybody to say, okay, this is more than a secondary school. Let us drive the students out and let us upgrade it to our institution. Those secondary schools that we put in place is highly commendable. Ditto to the primary school. Your Excellency, we also have the first-hand information to know that although a lot of resources are being committed to the South-South, just like the NGG President said, we are able to see the terrain, and we can see that the amount of money that is required to construct roads and bridges here will be more than 25 of what they will use in some other parts of the country. So your effort there is highly commendable. We can go on and go on, but because of our time. But the beauty of democracy, Your Excellency, is about making sure that you go ahead. I want to advise that don't be distracted. It's like with my observation, if care is not taken, you will be distracted by some other variables. You have to remain focused and make sure that you achieve better. The area of handing over the secondary school to the Indians, I also want you to look at it. I conducted a private investigation in that school as you were taking us around, and I was made to understand that the teachers, you are paying the Indians very high, but I don't think what they are paying the teachers there are commensurate enough. So please carry your investigations, Your Excellency, to make sure that we motivate the teachers. So the federal government, yes, President Goodluck Jonathan, I have been saying it, this tour had given us the opportunity to know that all over the country, the federal government is performing wonderfully well. As far as we are concerned, we saw the East-West Road, and if that road is completed, it means that it is an advantage to all the states in the South-South and even to the people in the South-West. We want to commend the federal government for that. But I want to call the attention of the federal government to that power plant in Omoku. Well, we have been going around. We saw the one in Alauji, we saw the one in Onitsha, and so many other places. The job in Omoku, the Honorable Minister, sir, we want you to help us to pass the information to Mr. President. The work there is not going on fast enough. And I think that has to, the contractor has to be called to order so that they can work there quickly. On in all, democracy is good. It's going on well in the South-South, particularly in Rivers, and I want to commend His Excellency. To our Honorable Minister, we cannot thank you enough. This has given the media, those of us that are working in the media, the opportunity to showcase what states, federal government and local governments are doing. And I have no doubt, because I know that the people in the radio and the television, they have been reporting this one adequately. And so also the reporters, the newspapers. Your Excellency, we quickly want to appeal to you, the area of the media, who are unable to get to the the River State radio and television, who wouldn't know the amount of commitment in that area, sir. But I want to appeal to Your Excellency that before you go, we hope that you'll be able to leave a befitting, very good legacy in that area, because that is the agency that will continue to welcome you, that will continue to rate you, that will never go back behind you, come sun, come sunshine. Thank you, and God bless you, sir.
And so I have said, greatest Nigerian people. Your Excellency, the very revolutionary Governor of Rivers State, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, our comrade Minister, Labaran Maku, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. We as civil society are not here to praise government. As a matter of fact, we are known not to praise government, but to critique for good governance. So my task here is to come and observe in the interest of the Nigerian people resident in Rivers State. And so I want to say first and foremost, as observed earlier, that Rivers State indeed, from what we have seen, is a huge project site. But our observation here is that government should try as much as possible to involve the people in both conceptualization of projects and implementation. We have seen various projects, fantastic projects in Rivers State, and that was why I say Governor Amechi is a revolutionary governor. But I want to appeal that it's very essential for sustainability, that the people be involved in what you call needs consultation, needs assessment. What do they need? There should be town hall meeting where you facilitate or you decipher what is actually needed as priority in various communities. And so therefore again, it is important that the people are also involved so that you can bring food on their table. Involve them in the implementation so that they can be empowered. To this extent, we have a project that is sustainable, that the people can defend themselves. They can die for it and say this one is our own. Enough of government foisting projects. The projects here are people's oriented, but they may not be people's owned. They are people's oriented, yes, fine. Government have beautiful conceptualization, but they may not have been owned by the people. So the sustainability may be in doubt. It then means we continue to waste money from time to time because the people are not empowered. Today, Nigerian people are deliberately impoverished. They have been impoverished by successive governments, not Jonathan government or Amechi government. That has been the system. But we must commend this tour. This is a great one, and I want to say to other civil society activists, I have come here to see this, to engage it. I will not be criticizing government ignorantly now, but well informed, because I have seen what is going on, and I have seen how difficult to also make some of this project possible. But my appeal here is that we should try as much as possible to create ownership for the people, and then make sure that we empower the people so that there can be food on the table while we are doing this program. I thank you once more, our governor, for the reception given to us, and I thank our comrade minister. Well, if he has not done this, some of us will have said, where is he coming from? Because we knew him when he was in the university. A very progressive, very clear-headed, indefatigable, indomitable comrade. So I salute you, comrade Labaran. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a case study of strategy and continuity in development. It is a state that has focused and purposeful development efforts. After going around, we've been able and privileged to visit a good number of visionary projects. When you plan a project and execute it for people who will benefit in the next 10 to 20 years, then this is very highly commendable. Thank you, the governor of this state. We've seen the monorail project, the power project, the sports complex, others in the area of education, agriculture, transportation, and health. We've seen the primary health care program, which is there to feed the main hospitals. And you even provide for a referral hospital. I think this is very highly commendable. The connectivity in this health sector is admirable, but I want to mention that the cancer center, which is that of the federal government, should not suffice. I noticed that in the Kesley Harrison Hospital, we did not have a mammography section. And this is something that touches on the lives of women in this community and in this state. I do wish that the government of this state will think about that and make sure that the Kesley Harrison Hospital has a mammography section, because there it will be subsidized, the cost will be subsidized for the women of Rivers State. All these projects touch directly on the lives of the people here. I've always seen the governorship exercise as a relay race. Some pick up early and end dully. Some are very dull at the start, but they pick up and also stay in the race properly. Governor Amechi, I want to say that from all that I have seen in Rivers State, the baton of this relay race is firmly in your hands, and you are in control. This is very commendable. I want to tell you, my dear Governor, that you have fought a good fight. You have kept the faith with the people of Rivers State. I urge you to continue to massage the programs and projects which you have for your people and see them to successful completion. On the whole, thank you for your leadership.
Our Minister of Information, all protocols observed. When we are told that the good governors will be coming to Rivers State and that they will be coming for 3 days, we are really worried because we know that 3 days is not enough to actually see the projects in Rivers State. I want to say that for us, the organized labor, the NSA and TUC in Rivers State, we are very happy with the projects in Rivers State, especially the education. I want to say that I'm also the National Industrial Relations Officer of Tengasan in Nigeria, so I'm privileged to have gone to various states in this country, and I've not seen a state with the kind of school that we have in Rivers State. I also want to comment on security. Some time ago, in 2009, Tengasan wanted to embark on a national strike because of insecurity in the Niger Delta. Then we met His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State. He intervened and explained to us what he's going to do and what he's doing to make sure that we arrest the security situation. I want to say that since then we have witnessed improvement in security in Rivers State, and we want to thank him for that. Also on the aspect of primary health, I'm choosing these ones because these are the ones that affect the ordinary people. The primary health, because when somebody is in the rural area and the wife wants to deliver, coming to the city may be very, very complicated. And that is why we want to thank the governor for the primary health care, and we want to appeal, Your Excellency, that you put in place policy to make sure that as you leave, those projects will be sustainable and they will continue to benefit the good people of Rivers State. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Commission, all other protocols observed. I'm happy that the federal government team is here in Rivers State to see how Rivers State is working. The governor has taken you to sites, project sites, where work is being done. Some have been completed, others are on. But there are something you've not seen that the governor cannot take you to go and see. And that's where I'm pointing at now. I don't want to take much of your time. I'm a teacher by profession. This is the only governor in Nigeria that has taken over the payment of primary school teachers. When I visit governor, you tell me the salary bill is much. I laugh. Go and test it. Go to any state. They have given burden to local government councils. The Constitution of Federal Republic, first schedule, says that the local government council shall participate in the running of primary education. They did not say that local government council should pay teacher salary. If I am eating with you and we are participating in the eating, and there is meat, cow meat, fish, you will not tell me, eat only cow meat, don't eat fish. That is not participation. So I want to use this video to thank my able governor, and I want other state governors to emulate our governor for taking over the payment of primary school teachers. Thank you very much.
Seen a lot. We have seen a lot in terms of social services. We have seen a lot in terms of infrastructural facilities, and we have indeed seen a lot in terms of human development. But then, having said so, Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, may I also join my colleague in saying I'm very much aware that Rivers State, the very Rivers State I know, and when I say Rivers State, I mean the old Rivers State that comprises of Rivers and now Bayelsa State, has vibrant civil society organizations, some of which members were with us in the struggle for this very democracy. I have observed, just like my friend, or rather my colleague has said, beyond the general participation, I had expected to see a number of civil society organizations on board in terms of their participation, their contribution to this developmental process. It will not be out of place to say that democracy, as we all know, is much about participation. The participatory aspect of it, those other aspects that people are talking about. We are all aware that the pockets of and incidences of insecurity we are experiencing in this country arose out of the fact that there are exclusions, and this exclusion, politics of exclusion, is what we should focus on and ensure that we have everybody on board to ensure that people on whatever policy government is doing, whatever project government is owning, so that they on their own can defend their projects. I must say that my being on this tour, I have seen a lot. I served in rivers in the early 90s and I've seen some changes. I must concede this. I've seen changes in the creeks. I served in the old, river state, and like I said, I served in Ekeremo. And it was very, very difficult for me to get to that place. But I was shocked when we drove down and somebody told me I was in Buguma. I knew when I was here, no one could reach Buguma by road. I have seen these changes. And these are progressive changes. But like we all say again, there is the need to involve all. The journalists, there was no doubt about it. Journalists were part of this process. But I must say that I have not seen a sign of vibrant civil society organizations, particularly those that are engaged in environmental issues. And even pro-democracy and human rights organizations need to be taken on board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nasir Okura, former NANS president. Your Excellency, to please come forward and address this gathering. Honorable Minister, Information. Okay. This is Radio Nigeria. They're all there. They're all there. Yeah.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Engineer Kuru, my brother, Senator Magnus Abe, who has come to join us in the process of this tour, my brother, Honorable Sir Conte Davis of the House of Representatives, who has also come to join us as part of this tour. The Commissioner for Information, Rivers State, Honorable Ibim, who has been so energetic working with us on this tour for quite a long time, and one of the very active members in the National Council on Information, members of Rivers State Executive Council, members of the House of Assembly, distinguished sons and daughters of Rivers State, our elder statesmen, our traditional rulers, local government chairmen, community leaders, my brothers and sisters, members of the National Good Governance Tour team, my fellow reporters from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, let me on behalf of the International Good Governance Tour team express our happiness with you for all the efforts made to put in place the processes for a smooth tour of Rivers State. During the courtesy call on you, I express my gratitude to you and to all the 36 governors for the support you gave the National Good Governance Tour. This tour could not have been a successful one if all the governors were not on board. We all accepted that a tour of this nature is important for the development of our democracy, and we insisted that this tour should be completely non-partisan, and it should assess things the way we see them, and it should begin to give the template for peer review mechanisms, is to start a national conversation between governments at all levels, federal, state, and local governments, and the people of Nigeria. This conversation is different from the one we hear during campaigns. This conversation is about development. This conversation is about the welfare of the people. This conversation is about the progress we are making. This conversation is about talking to your leaders in areas you think you need improvement. The reason for this conversation is because democracy, unlike military rule, is focused on people. It derives its power from people. And because it is about people, leaders in a democracy must not just talk at people, they must listen to them. They must create auspices for people to explain their own views about things going on, and they must create a mechanism of carrying people along in the process of development. And I think that is the point that Pronaco leader was talking about. Now, if you look at this citizens forum, it's exactly set into motion so that citizens can take ownership of their governments, of the projects we are doing, and also participate in the process of development. That is the reason why we have set up the National Good Governance Tour. Now, Your Excellency, let me say that we have been in Rivers for 3 days, and like members of the tour team have talked on different aspects of the things we have seen in Rivers, I must say that we have come to Rivers with an open mind to take a look at what is going on here at both the federal, state, and local government level. Now, I must say that at the level of development in Rivers, I must say that your governor has put in place a very good program for the transformation of Rivers State. And we have seen this in the key sectors of Rivers State economy and society. We have seen education, we have seen what is happening at the primary school level. We have seen the new primary schools that the state government has put in place. Those primary schools are very good infrastructure for the development of our children at that level. Now, when we were visiting one of the schools yesterday, I made the point that the problem of education in Nigeria is at the primary and secondary school level. Unless we change our primary education, unless we change our secondary education, by providing facilities, providing good school environment, and providing trained, motivated, and disciplined teachers, you cannot realize standard at the tertiary level. And I made a point in every state I went that if a governor cannot give his people good primary education, he has no business to be state governor. No business. If you cannot provide primary education for children in your state, I don't see the reason for you to pride yourself that you're a state governor. Because at that level, the children are looking upon you for their future, and there is not too much investment you can make for education. And Rivers is making quite significant investment in primary education. I am happy about that because, like I've said, as a former grade 2 teacher and headmaster, I want to see the standard of education at the primary level. Any other thing you do at the top, the primary school is the foundation. And I think the investment at that level should continue. Now, at the level of secondary education, I've also seen patterns of intervention, the way Governor Mechi has tried to handle them. One is the 24 model secondary schools, which have very good and proper infrastructure. We have seen some of the prototype schools, all of them have not been built. I think about 12 or so are also ready. But we have seen the samples of the 24 model schools that we want to establish. Now, those model schools are very good because they have good environment, good infrastructure, and also have facilities for the students and the teachers to learn and to teach, research. Now, I have spoken to the governor on the need for the rest of the secondary education, because those model schools will only take a few people, will only take quite a small, not quite a large number of people going to secondary school in Rivers State. Now, I will say, Your Excellency, that you need to work in the remaining schools to make sure that the gap between them and the model schools does not create
an elite group of children who will be so far from the rest of the children of Rivers State that in the end you are going to have a sharp division in terms of capacities. So I sincerely advise as a teacher that while you keep the model schools going as the standard from which the other public schools should learn from, it is very, very important that you deploy significant resources to fix the remaining schools in such a way that the teachers there, the students there, will be as motivated as those in the model schools. That is the way to go, and that is the way to give universal education, universal opportunity to every child. I commend the model schools. They are a good achievement, and they are a standard that other school levels can learn from. Now, when we were at the school yesterday, I tried to discuss with the governor on the issue of outsourcing the management of the schools. I believe he did so with the best of intentions, because he wants the best standards for the people of Rivers State, and he wants a model that is going to work for this state so that other people can pick from there. I know that is his own intention, and I commend him for that intention. You judge a person by his own intention, and I think the intention is very, very good. But I have advised, and I still want to repeat it, that there is a need to create competition in the management of those schools so that they don't go to one person, they don't go to one company. And I believe also that it is possible to get indigenous people, maybe the Catholic Jesuits, and hand over some schools to them and compare. Because the resources that the private managers are getting, I believe that if you maybe categorize the school, give them 60 to 70% if you have so much confidence in their capacity, and then give the rest to other maybe Nigerians. Because at this time that we have just won a Nations Cup with a local coach, I believe also that we can find managers within the system that will be able, if given the same opportunity, to make you proud. And I'm saying so because competition is important in giving your people confidence. Let it not be said that we have nobody within that can manage those schools. I advised Governor Rochas when we went to Imo also, because he also has a similar educational system that wants to give free education to all the children of Imo State. And at Imo, what we advised was good program, great program, but you should not bring school uniform from abroad. Give them to our traders to give them capacity, give them to traders, to tellers, our tellers or retailers, so that they too can learn something. Give school desks also to the local people. Now, competition is very, very important. If the new managers have competition, you will get the best. They will strive to prove to you that they are the best. But if you have monopoly, then in the end, you may not get the best out of them. But the concept of model schools as a system of government that is modern and that will serve as a role model for other schools in the state, I can't fault it. It's very great. It's a good intention, and those schools are great schools, and I think they should be sustained and managed very well. Now, I have seen a number of infrastructure within Port Harcourt, particularly road development. And I think Port Harcourt, I've been here, coming here since 1991, when, I think 93. Since 1985, as a student leader, we used to meet in the University of Port Harcourt with you when we had our time in the NANS. And if you go through Port Harcourt today, it's a changed city. The infrastructure is different. The roads are good, and I want to commend you. These are not all the achievements of Rotimi Amici, but he has built on what was handed over to him. We have seen new roads, we have seen new infrastructure, and we have visited some of the projects being done. And I commend you, because Port Harcourt as a metropolis is an oil and gas destination. So you need to fix infrastructure and make your city, make your state competitive for investment. And I think you are doing well in that direction. I have also, yesterday we went to the day before yesterday, we went to the new Port Harcourt city. And I saw, and the associated facilities, as I said, are a great asset for the people of Rivers and for sports in Nigeria. And I think it is very, very good. We have seen it.
and we are hoping that you have the resource to go ahead and complete that stadium so that the people of Rivers can have, the youth can have a lot of facilities to walk around with and play around with and to be strong, because sports is tourism, sports is money, and sports is also public health. The hospitals, we have seen them. We have seen the 120, some of the 120 health centers, and the concept is good. Between a distance, a citizen should have a health center. That is how it should be. Now when you integrate it with the MDGs, then you will find that at least at the rural, at the most basic level, a citizen, a woman who is pregnant, should not go long distance before she has a facility for maternity care. And I think this is very, very good. I have also, just the comment I made was the environment should be made a little more friendly by planting trees to give them shade. And I think the governor took that and he said he would do something about it. And as we went from center to center, the need for a green environment around those hospitals is crying for attention. And I think if you fix them, it will help to give them a real environment where people can feel much more relaxed. And otherwise, the hospitals are very good, the concept is nice, and it creates opportunities for the people of Rivers to tackle problem of basic health care at the rural level. Now, your agricultural program, I want to mention it. The agricultural program, we saw the fish farm, which was being developed by the Israelis, and we also saw the Songa farm that is being developed by partners from the Songa farm in Cotonou. The fish farm is very, very modern, with modern, latest technology. And it is a good project. You must, from the beginning, like we discussed, work on commercialization. Because if you hand over that farm to a commercial agency from the beginning, working with the man building the farm, so that by the time they finish their tenure of running it, people are ready to take the farm over. Otherwise, if you say the man should finish and hand over before you privatize, you will find it very difficult to maintain the farm. And I've advised you link them up right now with those who may have the money to work on it. It's a great farm that has a commercial capacity. The Songa farm is a different kind of thing, which is to integrate farming method to local farmers. And I'm impressed with that. We saw that kind of project in Plateau State, where the governor has set up training centers. Because the thing about Songa farm is not the money you will make, it's the knowledge that must pass on to local farmers. And we need that kind of thing, and we saw people on the farm. It can also generate resources for someone to run itself, but it should be seen more as a training center, so that maybe between now and 6, 4, 5 years, you will have similar farms by individuals or small-scale farmers improving their own products because of new knowledge, new technology, new processes that have been passed on to them. And I think the Songa farm is a good concept, and it's been seen in several states, because several people have gone to Cotonou to copy what is happening in that farm. That of Rivers is good because you also have a lot of developed facilities, and I think that is a good project. Farming is important. We must not say that because we have oil, then oil alone will take us somewhere. Oil can't. We need other resources that we can mobilize for the development of the state. So from agriculture to health to infrastructure, sports, we have seen quite some significant progress here in Rivers under the leadership of Governor Mechi, and we will continue to urge him to press ahead, because there are many 2 years or so that you have here. You can really consolidate on the number of things that you have done for the people of Rivers. Now, speaking about the federal interventions in Rivers, one of the crucial processes of administration in the last 2.5 years or 3 years of President Goodluck Jonathan has been that because we inherited a country where almost every sector of the Nigerian economy was in a near level of crisis, waiting for attention. Power was a state of emergency. Education was a state of emergency. Railways were completely broken down. There was no train moving anywhere in Nigeria. Now, that is the state of the nation that the president inherited. Now, for you to be able to turn Nigeria around at the federal level, you need a period of time to plan your program. And the president took his time and planned his own transformation program and designed priorities for the takeoff of the Nigerian economy. Now, Nigeria is a larger unit. It is more difficult for you to see progress at the national level than you will see at smaller units. Now, at the level of Nigeria, the transformation program of Mr. President, which has now fully floated, is focused in key areas. We want to ensure that governance change the system of governance, change our electoral system, improve the system of administration, and in terms of electoral process, the president so far has improved on our elections. The reforms in INEC, the funding of INEC, the system of election that was held under Goodluck Jonathan is definitely different from what happened between 1999 and 2007. Now what the president is going to do henceforth is to ensure that we deliver leaders can elect only those that they choose to lead them. Without that, democracy will not deliver results. The president is working in that area. Now, in terms of infrastructure, where are we heading to? We are targeting power supply. We are targeting the return of the railways, because without the railways, all cries about federal road will never deliver, because you build roads. Everything in Nigeria is moving on road. Every heavy equipment, iron, anything you bring into this country today is moving on road. Those roads can never last. Nigeria is a large country of 167 million people. So where we need to go is railway, return them. Now let me give you the progress report so far. We are working on the rail line from Makurdi to Port Harcourt. A lot of work is going on. You may not have seen it at the Port Harcourt end in Rivers State, but I want to give you the assurance that by the end of this year, the rehabilitation of the railway will be completed up to the Port Harcourt end. We were at Aba and we saw the progress. The most difficult areas are in Abia State, and they are fixing those difficult areas right now, and they are working from Makurdi end. The promise we got yesterday from the Permanent Secretary of Transport, Federal Minister of Transport, is that by December, our hope is that the train will move from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri again in Nigeria. That is our promise. From the Lagos to Kano end, we have completed. Trains are moving from Kano to Lagos, and all the petroleum products, cement, and other things coming from Lagos port to the north are now going by rail. So we are going to deliver on the railways before the end of this administration. We are also designing new railway lines that are coming from Lagos through the south-south up to Calabar. The consultancy processes have been given out, and this is going to be through PPP, because the most important infrastructure in the world now is PPP. No government has enough money to develop those infrastructure. And given our population, this is having a lot of interest from among prospective investors. Now, in terms of waterway transportation, the president is virtually completing the dredging of the Niger from Warri up to Niger State. The inner city ports will be completed this year. That of Onitsha has been delivered. Baro will be delivered by March. Oguta will be delivered by April, and then that of Lokoja. Now, that will reduce the weight on our waterways. That is what we want to achieve, and that is going to be realized by this administration. Now, in terms of port development, one of the biggest ports we are developing in the country is here in Rivers State, Onne Phase 4. Now, this port we visited yesterday, the Phase 4 covers an area of 90 hectares, 900 hectares of land. 900 hectares of land. The port itself, the new phase we started, is going to be delivered in August. They have gone more than 2/3 of the job, and the job at that port is progressing very, very well here at Onne. There's also adjunct to it a water treatment plant, and also an independent power plant which will generate power for the port and its ancillary services. Now, Onne has become a significant destination because Port Harcourt is oil and gas city, and our hope is that the new port at Onne, Phase 1, 2, 3 completed, Phase 4 onwards, and immediately after Phase 4, we are going to give the contract for Phase 4B. We are going to give the contract for Phase 4B. So the port is virtually ready, it is already operational. Now, the Onne Free Trade Zone we visited yesterday, we found that because of the facilities government has encouraged to develop in that area, we now have 150 companies that are working at One. Some of them manufacturing vessels, some of them delivering other services and pipes for oil and gas. But the good news is the One Free Trade Zone now has employed direct employment of 30,000 people. 30,000. That is what we have, that has grew from One at the moment. And those employment figures are going up. Now, in the area of air transportation, we have, because of the importance of Port Harcourt, the federal government is revamping Port Harcourt International Airport. We have also located a cargo airport at Port Harcourt. This will make it possible for the new farms to export their goods by sea or by air. We are going to inspect the airport tomorrow. A lot of progress has been made, and that airport is one of 11 others which are almost at the point of completion. Now we work on those ports to make sure that they are delivered. Now on power, power is our #1 priority. Let me commend River State, because on power, River is helping us generate almost, according to his plan, 360 megawatts, according to his plan. We have seen one of the plants already working, the second one was also working today. Now, at the level of the federal government, we are building 10 new power plants. The Omoko plant that we visited yesterday is virtually completed, because the installation of turbines, the installation of generators, and also the provision of access to gas, these are virtually ready. They promise us that by the end of the year, Omoko Federal Power Plant will also deliver electricity to the national grid. That is the plan that we have on ground. Now, the other 9 power plants, some of them are ready. They're only waiting for gas to be connected. Now, the promise of the federal government is that as we scale through 2013, our promise is that we will be able to harvest significant additional power from the new gas-fired power plants that we're building in the country. Now, that will fire the economy, and that will, by 2014 middle, we expect that a majority of the new power plants will be commissioned, and they should be giving electricity to Nigerians. This is very important for us, because with power, we will drive the economy faster, and we will have more investment coming in as power stabilizes. Even at this level, because of our reform programs, the economy is growing at about 6-7% consistently for the past 3-4 years. Now, with new investment coming, we believe we need to increase the level of power supply in the country, and the president is definitely going to deliver on power. Now, the Niger Delta people, this democracy that we are in has done so much good for you and for all of us Nigerians. If you take a look at what happened before 1999 and now, the Niger Delta, because of this change onto democratic governance, you have been able to have access to more of the resources that accrue from your own environment. Now, the 13% that is given to the people of the Niger Delta, in our opinion, at the federal level, is something that is reasonable and something that is needed to develop this region that was neglected for so many decades. I believe that from the resources flowing here now, from the 13%, from the NDDC, from the Ministry of Niger Delta, proper coordination and harnessing of these resources should place the people of the Niger Delta on a faster lane to recover from the crisis of the past and put proper infrastructure on ground for the transformation of this region. The president is from here, and I want to assure you that he is determined to ensure that this region moves at a pace that it should. Now, we spoke about the East-West Road. We saw some portions of that road. The road has been very problematic for a long time because of very, very problematic budgeting. Now, from the money we are getting from the Shopee program, we are deploying more money to the East-West Road. The sections of the road we saw today are very, very good, especially those built by the RCC company. Now, money is being deployed in all the sections. It is our hope that before the end of this dry season, we will witness more progress on the East-West Road and deliver on that road before, maybe by 2014, by the grace of God. Because we are working harder on that road now. So let me also say that one significant improvement we saw here is security. We must never take security for granted. Security is the #1 need for the development of a people. The Niger Delta today is at the point of takeoff. What you need more than anything anybody can give you is peace and security. Anybody who does not understand the connection between development and security should go to the northeast of Nigeria and see what has befallen us there today. The people of the Niger Delta must never, I repeat, you must never allow this region to return back to instability, because this is the best opportunity you have in decades to fix your infrastructure, to fix this region, and to propel the development of your people. If the Niger Delta is developed, Nigeria is developed. We think that our development is now going to be a regional competition. We don't have to be all at the same level. If regions can go ahead, others will come there. You are a region of great natural resource, and some of those resources are now coming back to you. And I think what you need now is peace. So for the governors of this region and the federal government, we must continue to network to ensure that security continues to improve, so that the opportunities that are coming with increased resources and increase the regulation of the economy will come to the people of the Niger Delta. So for the youth of this region, I say, look, stand up and be counted. Be confident in yourselves, because this region is moving very fast from the infrastructure we're seeing from state to state. That is how it should be. We believe that if a region is giving the nation a majority of the resources for development, that region should also be seen to be making progress at a pace that is commensurate with contribution to the national treasury. And the Niger Delta people will appreciate you, and I think you now have the opportunity to move forward, but make sure security and peace is your watchword. Anything to the contrary, you will be distracting yourself. Let me thank you earnestly, and I wish the people of Rivers and the people of this region more progress as the years come by. Thank you very much indeed.
And apologize to you that I stand with the Commissioner for Information, who had earlier apologized to all of you for our inability to keep to the time. It was supposed to be at 2 o'clock. I will try and begin by addressing some of the issues raised by the earlier speakers before I go to the social media. The first one is citizen participation in administration. Please, we do. We do. We are the first in this era of democracy to institute town hall meetings. The first. In fact, our 2009 budget would not take place until we had gone around the LGAs to ask them, what do you want? We also instituted the following for active participation of the citizens. The first one is State Elders Council. We briefed them and we asked, what do we do? And the idea at the last meeting was, the day you arrived, I told you I will join you after I have spoken with the elders of the state, and we did speak with them. Before we began implementation of our program, we had summits on all fronts: education, finance, water, transport, land, everything. We got the citizens to participate, we debated, we went to work on those things. And we have the master plan, which everybody participated. When we finished designing the master plan, we came back to this hall to present it to River citizens and ask for their contributions. We have a special assistant on civil society. From time to time, we meet with the civil society in Port Harcourt. You can ask them. And we receive questions and respond to them in their presence. We don't rent a crowd. It annoys me to see women tying her tie and chanting and singing. That's why when you spoke, people also clap for you. I want to remember one of the town hall meetings we had in Ogoni. I think it was Bukana. It was an open debate between me and one young man. When I said we had completed the health center in so and so village by the photograph they gave me, he said, no sir, you're wrong. And I said, what do you mean? Here is the photograph. He said, sir, you are wrong. I said, okay, can we go to this place? We went there, he was right. And the commissioner apologized and said they gave him the wrong picture, the wrong photograph. So if you come to citizen participation, don't forget that I come from a people-oriented background. I was a NANS officer when Labran was still a comrade. I worry a lot for him to be a comrade and be a spokesman of the elites. It's not easy. If he was Minister for Science, then you can understand. But to be a spokesman for oppressors, then he must be a good comrade to speak for them. And from time to time, we have media interaction from time to time. So that when you raised it, I wasn't worried. I was surprised when they clapped for you because they know that is our program. So I was wondering, and I need to do that when I leave government. I need to study audience participation in Nigeria to know whether they just clap for what they hear or they are serious about what they are clapping for. When they talked about Indians managing our school, I have just two quick responses. The first response is that one thing my Commissioner for Education tried to hide from you, and I refused to allow them to hide from you, was that by the time you visited our primary schools, our ICT had collapsed. Our ICT collapsed because we gave it to a Nigerian, and we paid him. Instead of managing it properly, he mismanaged it. As I'm talking to you now, for the past 2 months, our children have not been taught ICT. We have advertised, some Indians have applied, who will take them. Because the principle is get our children educated. Because the children of the rich are attending private schools. We will not allow a rich man deny our poor brothers the right to education. So if you preach it tomorrow, give it to Nigerians. I've tried them. I'm not saying Nigerians are not good. They are very good. But maybe I'm unlucky to get the good ones. Please help me bring the good ones and I'll work with them from any part of the country. I'll work with them. They can come from Sokoto, Katsina, Kaduna, is it what do they call it? Something Namora. Whatever it is. Anywhere, anywhere, I work with them. What I need is education of Rivers people. That's what I need. Now, the Indians have done well so far. If teachers there are complaining that they are underpaid, it's their business. They didn't force them to come to be employed. That place is a private school, paid for by the Rivers State government. It was a private school. The money we give them is money for school fees for the children. They run the school as a private institution with less interference from government. That is where we have asked them to run the schools. So if any teacher does not want to work there, let him resign. Let him resign. For the hospitals, they are free. The hospital at Temenike is free for all Rivers people and Nigerians who live in Rivers State. We have already put in the escrow account 500 million naira. At the end of every month, we will pay them according to the number of patients they see. If we don't pay them, they will just simply go to the escrow account and withdraw the money for the month. And by the agreement, we are expected to pay back whatever they withdraw, so that at all times you will have 500 million naira in that account. It's free, not just for Rivers people, for any Nigerian who lives and does business in Rivers State, and will continue to pursue that. So when you talk about that, that's the first answer, that these people are doing well. The second answer is that rich men's children are in foreign schools in Nigeria, is it not? British International, American International, Italian school. Our rich men's children are there. We brought Indians. They are in Indian schools with Nigerian children. We now brought them to come and manage school for the poor. You say, no, don't give the poor people that opportunity. We will give them so that they are able to compete with the rich men. That's the second answer for that. When you talk about teachers, I have told you privately, we advertise and interview teachers. We have taken 13,000 teachers who will employ them. The reason why we have not employed them is that we are managing resources now to ensure that they come in at the appropriate time. We will certainly employ them. We need teachers. When you say whether other governors will come and see what we are doing, we have peer review mechanism in the governors forum where we will go around. We are going to go to Anambra and Ekiti very soon because they are ready. And we have a commission or a committee chaired by Justice Ways, who first will do all the necessary work before the governors go. And they will come to River State very soon to come and see for themselves before they invite governors to come and see. But the most important thing is that you cannot compare governors, because you have to compare apple to apple and oranges to... There are governors who don't receive as much as we receive. There are governors who don't even receive much to even pay salaries. So you can't be expecting them to do what we are doing. Yes, the terrain here is very, very difficult. The cost of doing 1 kilometer of the road here is almost 10 times the cost of doing a kilometer of the road in the north. But then you can't say, why is Amechi performing the one governor in the north or the other? Don't forget that they don't receive the same amount of money. Don't forget that. I want that to be on record. Well, somebody said I should pass a law. You know, governors, once you pass a law that the schools must be maintained, they can decide to maintain or not to maintain. I thank you for your comments on the issue of agricultural projects. I will not comment on the issue of the federal projects. I leave that to the minister who has commented on that. I congratulate him for coming. Now, let me go to the social media. Why would I get angry? I'm equal to the task of responding to both political and serious issues. Even when the man who read out the question said, don't ask personal questions, he took one personal question and asked. I thought he would have said, no, I disqualify this question because it's personal. That question is whether I have ambition to run for president or not. That question is personal, I will not answer. It's sponsored by those who want me to deny. I will not answer. I will not please anybody in Abuja, and I will stick to my ground and do what I want to do. Simple. The actions I take as a chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum is for the interests of Nigerians. One of those actions, don't clap. One of those actions, I will tell you that clearly, is the fact that the Governors Forum is in court with the federal government over oil subsidy. And they know that figure is too much. Trillions of naira for oil subsidy, the governors are saying no more. We want to be out of it, we will not be part of it, we are in court. We are in the Supreme Court, and if that's annoying anybody, too bad. I'm just the chairman of the Governors Forum. That's the whole story about governors are becoming threat. They are all sponsored. The governors are people-oriented. The governors defend the interests of the masses, and we continue to stand by you. No matter how much they sponsor articles in the papers and news stories and all that, we don't listen. You can only listen if these things are coming from the people. The moment we hear the people's voice, we would listen. The governors will do what? The governors will listen. But for now, they are sponsored by the elites. We will not be part of it. Have you seen a country where 2.something trillion is spent for oil subsidy in a year? That is wrong. We will be in court. Let's wait for the Supreme Court to give a decision. Simple. Simple. If that is what you mean by me running for president, I have no apologies. I will not do what? Apologize. Yeah, there's a question from Pensions Board. I'm not aware that we are owing any pensions. Commissioner for Finance, please come and answer your question. I am not aware that River State government is owing any pension. When we came to government, the River State government was owing over 5 billion. I cleared it. I cleared it as soon as I came, and I made sure every month it became part of our recorded expenditure, so that all pensioners will receive the money on monthly basis. So let Commissioner for Finance come and tell me whether he's owing anybody or not. For me as governor, I'm not aware.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, I think that the answer that you gave is very accurate, sir. When you came to office, there was a backlog of pension that was being owed. It amounted to about 5 billion naira, which was cleared, and as I speak, there is some pension liability, but it's what we call the federal component of retirees that are being owed. All other pension payments, we take it on a monthly basis as we pay salaries, and it amounts to about
$980 million on a monthly basis. So I stand here to confidently say that we don't owe any pensioners any money. Yes. I said now.
Don't worry, he's in Nigeria and America. He lives in America, that's why I call Douglas. Now, so I'll continue. Say, who are these your detractors and what did you do to them? Tell the priest who asked the question, I don't know what I did to them. Who are the detractors? They're everywhere. They are mostly in Abuja, so check them there in Abuja and ask the question, who are they? They include people we have helped to become something, and they are there distracting our attention. So go to them, Mr. Priest, and ask them. But what I said is that the God I worship, if you look at my political history, there has never been any time that God has abandoned me. If you follow it. Have you followed my political history? No time. That's why when I'm fighting, I say, give me 6 months of prayers. When I finish praying, I come out. And I'm praying now. I am praying now. Tell them we're not fighting. I am praying. This is my time for what? Prayer. To ask the God that put me here to do what? To come down. Once God is with me, as I'm praying, if God says, no, I'm not with you, I begin to beg everybody, sorry, it's a mistake. But once I hear God say, I am with you, I go to sleep. So tell the priest to join me in praying. I never said that Warri-Port Harcourt Road was being reconstructed by us. That is being done by the federal government, and that is the famous East-West Road, which are the ones that we have done. Before the current president, our president became president, we had gone ahead to construct the Port Harcourt-Owerri Road. Have you passed there recently? Nearly finished, and I'm happy that the minister passed there with his team and they saw the road. The Ada George Road is federal government road, is it not? And we are nearly completing Ada George side, and very soon we'll focus on the airport side. They are federal government road. They were awarded before the current president was elected. Then they are doing the Port Harcourt Aba Road from Eleme flyover to our boundary, which is Imo River. We are doing it. We have done Ikure Road. Ikure Road is a federal road. We have not gotten one kobo. We have not gotten what? Dr. Odili did from Rumo I should convey the message. Labram, you're my friend from the university. We are doing from Owerri, from the boundary between Imo State and River State to Port Harcourt. Federal government is doing from that boundary to Owerri. What did we do? Labran said federal government is constructing the Port Harcourt-Enugu road, Enugu-Port Harcourt road, right? They are not constructing the side from Port Harcourt. We are constructing from Port Harcourt to the boundary between we and Abia. So if they are doing Enugu and Abia, what did we do? What offense did we commit? Are we not Nigerians? All I'm doing is convey the message the master should convey. We are doing Ada George Road. Labran, please, when you reach Abuja, tell them to pay us. They should forgive us our sins and pay us our money. Have I done what the master should do? God bless you. The other one is that I'm misapplying money for purposes of other interests. That's the accusation. That accusation was raised by my friend and brother, the Minister of Niger Delta. Ask my colleagues in the cabinet what I told them. The only way to stop this political EFCC is to outperform everybody. Put in everybody's home a project so that when EFCC comes, people will rise up against them. Is it not true? Simple. As we are driving, they were literally seeing primary schools in every village. The same standard. The same standard. The standard that is in Ubima, my village, is the standard that is Normawa, the next village. Is the standard that we saw in Kana. Is the standard that we saw in Oyibo. In health centers, the standard in Ubima is the one we saw in Abalama. Is the one we saw in Port Harcourt with a doctor. The only one with more than one doctor is the one at Eleka here because of the pressure and the fact that the University of Port Harcourt uses that place to teach family medicine. There is an improvement in power. That power is coming from us. They saw the power plants. They saw it with their eyes. We have 545 megawatts. We are building another 180. What we want to do is to use our money, apply it on our resources. We will not wait for anybody. We will not wait for money from any other place than what we have. When we finish and the political EFCC comes, we will say, what else do you want? That day we mobilize you to come to the street and ask EFCC, what are they doing in Rivers State? So anybody who is accusing me of misapplying money, they should be careful. Investment destination, what are we doing with security? The gentleman should have seen what Port Harcourt was like before we came. By this time, we'll have ordered away. You'll be hearing sounds of gun from this side. Everybody will be on the run. Again, I went into prayer, so I prayed and prayed and prayed. When I prayed, God said, see the direction to go. And I took that direction and I went to the brigade commander, the police commissioner, the SSS director, and the other. They were good. Whether you like it or not, after God, please be grateful to the security personnel. They came out in full force, and today security has been restored. The village we went to now, before we came here, Andone, ask them. There was a man called George Adumu. He's in detention. George Adumu will not have allowed us to come there. If we want to come there, we have to pay in advance to tell George Adumu we are coming. Then he will clear the waterways, clear the village, then we can come. He will give us time. 2 hours he must leave. And 2 hours, governor and everybody will leave. When I came, I said, this cannot happen. There can't be 2 governors in a state. Can there be? So we took up the fight. Today, God has blessed us. There is security. Let the man come and invest. If there was no security, you won't be seeing the Israelis and the Italians you saw as we were driving around in the different project sites. The fact that you saw those Israelis and Italians is what an indication that security has improved. Tell the man to come and invest, we'll give him land. Traffic and flood, correct. There is a traffic situation in the state, especially in Port Harcourt, and we're finding solutions. Two quick solutions. We have a new master plan, the Port Harcourt master plan that will last for 50 years. It was approved by you in this hall in 2009. They have advised we should do a road from UTC to the airport, so that all those going towards Ikwere, Warri, and Owerri